What's going on, people? This is Shy Harris of the Apryl Society, and this is another edition of The Process. Actually, this is The Process Conversations. I'm thinking about switching up the name of this particular series, but I really can't think of anything. So if you have anything I should switch it up to, please leave a comment about, a good title for it. In this video, we speak with event producer Apryl Roberts, who pretty much has done it all in the event space, from working with Def Jam to doing some of the bigger weddings and just overall events in this area. In this video, she also speaks about being a tour manager for DMX, as well as Redman and Method Man, to working with Cam Chancellor, the Seattle Seahawks, to how she got her start, interning, pretty much everything else in between. So if you're into the event space, if you're into coordinating events, producing events, she really gives a lot of jewels on how to kind of flourish in this space, how to build your brand, how to get your name out there and more. So check it out right after this. What's going on, people? This is Shy Harris of the Apryl Society, and this is another edition of The Process. The Process is the ultimate entrepreneur and creative tool guide on how to make money, get clients, market yourself, use social media, and all that in between. So today we have the wonderful and talented Apryl Roberts. How are you doing?
Awesome.
Great. You just had a busy weekend, so this is like your first day off in probably a couple weeks, right? Months? Okay. So we ain't gonna take too much of your time. So for the people that don't know who you are, which probably isn't that many people who don't know you, but what do you do?
I'm an event producer, so a lot of people say, what is an event producer? Basically, I do planning, design, and also production.
Okay.
So every aspect of events, my hands are in it.
So what's the difference between an event producer and an event coordinator?
Event coordinator does no planning, they just show up. Someone else does the planning. No, they execute.
Why does that sound like a shot?
Questions. No, but it's not, because people never know the difference. The event planner actually plans the events, so they're the ones that's talking to vendors, making the schedules. The coordinator is just the person that shows up and does what the planner, executes what the planner put together. So.
Okay, so the event coordinator is more so like if it's a wedding, like the day of person that just makes sure stuff is kind of flowing smooth and stuff like that. But the event planner, one that plans it out, and then the event producer is
everything. So design, planning. You're going to make sure you coordinate event management. You're going to manage all of your vendors.
So all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes you secure sponsors to help cover some of the costs.
Right. Okay. So over the past couple of years that I've actually known you, I've seen you produce some great weddings, some awesome events like the Cam Chancellor event that just passed. So how did you actually get started with doing all this?
I kind of fell into it. So originally I went to college to become an attorney.
Okay.
So my major was political science with a minor in criminal justice. I was a teen mom. I had my son when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
So my uncle on my dad's side of the family, he's an entertainment attorney.
Okay.
He was like, okay, working at Dairy Queen is not going to get you the
Oh, that was your job before?
Yeah, I was working at Dairy Queen when I was in college. I started like my senior year of high school. And he was like, that's not going to get you, the money that you probably would need, especially being a single parent. I mean, luckily my son's father was very much in the picture, and he was doing everything he was supposed to do. He was in the Army, but I wanted a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dairy Queen checks wasn't cutting it.
Not at all. I was driving a Pontiac T1000, and I don't know if anybody know what that is, but that's like a equivalent to a Chevette.
Oh, okay.
And it got to the point where I rode it until the wheels roll off. Like when you stopped at the light, I had to put it in neutral so it wouldn't turn off. So I needed some extra money.
Yeah.
So he had linked me up with a local producer who needed some admin help.
Mm-hmm.
And I started working for Teddy Riley part-time, doing admin type of work. And eventually I became meeting planning and planning parties, for coworkers and things. So
what stage of Teddy Riley was this? Was this like Guy? Was it like Blackstreet? Okay.
Yeah. And that was short-lived, very short-lived. So one of my good friends, she had moved to New York,
mm-hmm.
and she was like, hey, I'm working for Def Jam, and you might want to see if you want to come and help out, work as a tour production assistant. I was like, I don't know anything about that. And she was like, basically, they're just going to tell you what to do, and you do it. And I needed a change, put school on hold because I needed money.
So when she presented like that, did that sound like a good idea? Because that just sounded like...
It didn't at first because I was still thinking I was going to be an attorney.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. So your mind was like, still wrapped around you actually being in court every day and all that stuff?
I want to do contract law. So
oh, okay.
The only time you really had to go to court is like just to present certain things to a judge to get signed off on for mergers. But never wanted to be like in the industry, never wanted to plan parties. It was a hobby. It was just something, again, I fell into. And at that point, it was like, I need money.
Right.
So I was like, okay, something different. And that's my attitude. I get bored easily. Didn't think that I would get a call back because, again, I had no experience. But because of who my uncle was,
kind of put you on a little bit.
It kind of put me on a little bit. So I don't know if he helped out with that. To this day, he said he didn't. But I'm like, I'm nobody, so why would they even say yeah?
Right.
So I was with Def Jam for about 4 years, tour production assistant. Basically, I'm on the tour bus, making sure that everything is there that's supposed to be there. Once we arrived in the city, it was my job. We might get there like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, roll up. I'm the first one off the bus, going to the hotels to check everybody in, make sure their rooms are where they're supposed to be. By the time we get everyone off the bus, all the artists are getting in there. They can go to sleep. They can chill for a bit. I have to go to the venue.
Even if it's like 3 o'clock in the morning?
Well, it takes about 2 hours, 2-3 hours just to get everybody checked in, everybody settled in. So by the time it's like 5, 6 o'clock, I have to go to the venue.
And venues are open around that time?
Venue is open 24 hours depending upon when you roll in and when those trucks roll in, because we also have separate trucks of your lighting gear and your sound gear that's coming in.
Okay. So who were some of the artists that you were working with around that time?
Method Man, Redman. We did 2 shows maybe with Jay-Z. Keith Murray was on a couple of sets.
That's pretty much it. Okay.
Yeah. So DMX. I don't even know why I can't remember that. He was the main one.
DMX,
yeah.
How was that?
Love him to death.
Okay. So it wasn't nothing?
He's so dope. Like, I feel bad every time he's in the media and they're talking about, he did it. Like, this dude actually would get up in the morning and have, like, prayer circles. At night, same thing,
Right.
He be spitting some knowledge. He's really deep, but he just has a lot of internal struggles.
So what would have been some of the craziest tour stories that you might have had, experiences, that you could speak about?
Part of my job, too, is mind you, I wasn't even 21 yet. So I was still a baby. And again, I was basically like the gopher, so whatever you told me, to do, I had to basically do. Part of my job was during the shows, if there was some females out near the stage.
So you're wrangling the females.
Yeah. And you have to make sure you sign those. They sign those non-disclosure forms.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Oh, it has to be.
I mean, in a situation like that.
Yeah, it has to be, because we didn't have to worry about cell phones as much back then, like we do now, because social media wasn't popping like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, pictures, that was the main thing. You had to make sure there weren't any cameras, because people would be quick to try to sneak a camera in.
Yeah, most people got families and stuff, so yeah.
So my job would be to, get some of these females to bring them back to the hotel. I'll just
leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Okay.
And then it would also be my job to kick them out,
Oh, in the morning? Or night in the morning?
Not always in the morning, but whenever,
when they done?
They were done, so.
Why can't they just kick them out?
Because you don't want to look like the bad guy.
So it sounds better coming from the people?
Yeah.
Like,
reputation,
Hold on, all right.
There's a little bit of a reputation going on.
So how did you have to kick these women out? Like,
they just come up here and say it's time to go. And I would always have like one of the security guards or bodyguards with me, so it wasn't just, because I was a little tiny thing back then. This was like a pre-kid, so I was like maybe 89, 93 pounds. So I was a little itty bitty thing. But when you're around so many men, you become a little bit more assertive and forceful. So
right.
And
so you're
I had my backups.
So you're just not going to do it like, all right, sweetheart, it's time for you to be out.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, most of the time I think it's only one time that I got opposition. And I don't know what happened prior to me getting in the room, But the chick just started wilding out, going off to me. So, what do you mean I have to go? Why? No, wait a minute. That's how you're gonna do me? Looking at the artist.
Yeah.
And he just like, all right, bye, we're done. So, she tried to pick up some stuff and throw some things around the room that got a little ugly, but.
Okay. So how do you transition from working at Def Jam, being on the road, to being a event producer?
Met my ex-husband, because he also was in the industry doing writing.
Okay. And
after a while, you just get tired. Like I said, I still had my son. My son was with my parents, and he wasn't able to be with me sometimes. So
right.
And then you find somebody, you're like, okay, I'm going to settle down. Everybody can't be on the road doing everything, traveling. And I looked at it that, he's the head of the household, so I'm going to fall back. So.
And you were still, like, super young, too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to finish up my degree. Went back to, thinking, like, what am I going to do?
Still go back to being a lawyer?
Yeah. Still planning parties for friends and just doing it on the side. And like I said, it was a hobby. Friends were like, oh, can you plan my birthday party? Can you plan my baby shower? Never thought anything of it. I've always been artistic, so I've always been the type of person like to build things. I like to paint.
Right.
I like to draw. But again, for me, those were more so relaxation things, just hobbies.
Oh, okay.
So when I came back home, ended up, getting pregnant with my daughter, getting married, he was still doing songwriting and a little bit of producing and traveling. He was working with Bad Boy.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't feel fulfilled. And I was just trying to find my way, like, what is it that I truly want to do?
So were you pretty much like a stay-at-home mom around that time?
Nope, I was working.
Oh, okay.
I'm working as an insurance adjuster.
That kind of has to suck a little bit, going from Def Jam to working as an insurance. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say it sucks. It was a different type of lifestyle, but you got to remember that I come from, on my dad's side of the family, there's so many people in the industry, so when you are used to it and you're raised around it, and you already know that everything that glitters is not gold.
Right.
It's just a job for real. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I wasn't in the midst of it. I wasn't anybody important in the industry. Now, if I was an artist or somebody that people really, really knew, then yeah, it would really suck.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just like, okay, this is the next chapter in my life. So just trying to find, what it is that I truly wanted to do. I knew I didn't like insurance, didn't want to keep doing that. My dad was like, hey, you do these parties and events for your friends and family. Have you ever thought about
doing it for yourself?
Doing this as a career? And I honestly never thought about it. And I was like, nope. And I was like, I don't really know a whole lot other than just, small little parties. He said, well, you're good at it. Why not work for yourself?
Right.
Meanwhile, I have my mom who was like, no, you need to do a 9 to 5. You need to make sure you have those benefits, job security.
Right.
So it's like both.
That sounds like a very motherly thing to say. Yeah.
So I thought about what my dad had said, and I was like, you know what? This is something that I enjoy doing. Why can't I make it a business for myself? Why am I keep on working for somebody that doesn't see my worth, that's not going to pay me what I feel I'm worth? But before I jumped into starting a business, I wanted to make sure that I went in and doing it the right way.
Okay.
So I reached out to a lot of local planners here and was like, hey, can I shadow you? Can you be my mentor? Either they didn't respond or they were just blatantly like, no.
Right.
And I kept, sending emails out. So I was like, okay, well, let me, North Carolina, that's not too far. I can travel, reached out, to some planners there. Hey, I'm trying to get into the industry. I want to make sure that I know every aspect of it, especially the business part, because that's the most important part.
When you say the business part, you mean like contracts
and all
insurance,
that? Everything, just terminology. I knew things from a production side because even when I was touring with shows, I've always been the type of person that loved behind the scenes. Even as a child, going to the circus, I would watch the circus, but I would be looking at the people in the background wearing all black. Right. I want to know what were they doing.
Production staff and all that.
I want to know what were they doing. So I've always been like a behind the scenes type of person. What do you have to do to produce this type of event or show? So when I was on tour, I would be the one behind stage asking questions. Or can I try this? And then eventually they were like, hey, do this for me, or run and do that for me. I've always been inquisitive. I've always been the type to ask questions. So from the production standpoint, I learned a lot. And then I learned how to incorporate certain things into events as well.
Okay.
So North Carolina planners, nothing. Nothing at all. So I said, okay, let me do DC.
So you can find nobody in Virginia or North Carolina?
Because the thing about it is that, and it's not as bad like how it used to be, or at least maybe because I'm in the industry now, I don't see it. But their whole thing was, I'm not going to show you what I'm doing, and then you're going to end up being my competition.
That's how most people are, though.
Right, and it's in every industry.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's nothing proprietary. We all do the same thing. We might put our own little twist on it. But my thing is this: every client is not your client. You could be the best at what you do, but you could sit down and talk to somebody, and your personality might just rub them the wrong way. Or either your price is just not, where they're at.
Right.
So my thing is, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. That's just how it works. But a lot of people didn't see it that way. They thought that you're going to take a trade secret, which there are none, because you didn't invent it. You got that from somebody else, whether they're local or, somebody you saw on TV somewhere else. So eventually I did get a mentor in New York and one in Baltimore. So what I did is every single weekend, I was driving in my car and I was shadowing them on events, for free.
Hold up, so you was going up there like
every weekend
to New York and Baltimore, or
alternating between the two, depending upon who had events going on.
Right.
Just shadowing them. And one of my mentors, her name was Lynette Richardson Hall. She was based out of Baltimore. And it just so happened she was on the television show Whose Wedding Is It Anyway?
Okay.
So I got to see, how she did things from a production standpoint, but also she taught me the basics, of contract, how to price your services, what are the things that you need to be looking out for as far as planning, because it's not just, okay, this is what I want, I'm going to go to the store and purchase this and put it all together. It takes a lot of time. So eventually I started doing events on the side. Of course, your family and your friends are not going to support you.
Not at all.
Because
I feel like that's in every industry.
Yeah,
people go into it and say, like, I think, once I start doing X, Y, and Z, that all my family, all my friends going to come out and, buy stuff from me. But that's never the case.
They're going to be the last ones to buy
Yeah, that's never the case.
They're never going to buy anything from you. Then when you even talk about what you're doing, they kind of, oh, you still doing that event planning stuff or that little thing. It's always
your little business.
Thing. Right, that little bit. They don't even refer to it as business. I think probably within the past 3 years, my family actually realized I have a business.
Really?
I'm so serious. Probably within the past 3 years.
I think my dad, like, when I first got out there on my own, I feel like my dad, he was like more so pushing me because he has his own business as well. But I feel like my mom, she still doesn't get it. Like, she'll call me in the middle of the day and like, yo, let's go do something. I'm like, yo, I got mad stuff I got to do.
No, they think you're just sitting at home.
Right.
When you got something to do, you just show up. Like, my mom thinks that when she does me the same way, and she'll call, especially now that she's retired. Well, you're not finished with that planning yet? I'm like, you're working the event until the event is over.
Right.
It's not like you just show up and you just say, okay, boom, go.
So, question, because it's something I used to like it used to affect me a lot. Like, how do you kind of like deal with that? Like, your family and friends not really supporting you? Because I know for me, it took me, like, it used to like really like bother me that like my mom and other people didn't really kind of support me, or you didn't get the same love as if you got like a great 9-to-5 job. So did that ever like get to you, or?
Yeah, now I'd be lying if I say that sometimes it doesn't still, because again, they still don't see, in their eyesight, you're always going to be that younger brother or that younger cousin or child. They're not looking at you as the adult professional.
Right.
But then again, they're not sitting in meetings with you.
Right,
they don't get to
right.
experience that. My dad, I think what helped me is that my dad has always been the type to push me. And as long as I had that support, and like I said, my uncle has always been the type, to support me and be like, look. And not saying that they weren't supporting me, it's just that they belittled it.
Right.
They didn't understand it. And they still don't understand it to its full extent, but they get it better now.
Okay.
But yeah, it would bother me, but my dad would just like, keep pushing. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. And they'll see it. You can't determine when they're going to see your vision, but for me, it was like once I started doing the larger events and working more with celebrities and everything, I think the first thing my mom finally got is when I worked with BET, with the BET Honors. And I was working the gifting suite. And that's when it hit her like,
oh, my daughter's really out here doing something.
Hey man, you're doing something.
Yeah.
And when she actually saw some magazine footage from one of the magazines up in DC, and my picture was in it, or my name was mentioned, then it was like, Oh, okay. So now she can go back to work and, talk to her coworkers.
Yeah.
But it took that for her to, finally start seeing a little bit and understanding what I was doing. She still don't understand completely what I do.
So pretty much once celebrities and traditional publications start to like feature you, that's when co-sign you.
Started legitimizing me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel that same way. Yeah.
I do have one cousin that from the start, but because she's an entrepreneur,
she gets it.
She has always got it. I mean, and she supported me. Like, she owns a salon, and I already had a hairdresser, but when she moved back to the area and opened her shop, I'm like, I'm gonna support my family.
Right.
I never went in and said, I want free service.
Yeah.
Because it's a business. Yeah, I get a discount.
Right.
But likewise, when she hired me to do different events and weddings for her kids and stuff, I'm gonna give her a discount. But she's never come to me and be like,
try to shortchange you or
right, because she appreciate and respect, and that's the thing. Is she respect what I do and I respect what she does. So I did have other family members that were entrepreneurs that got it.
Gotcha.
But that's what helped me to just as long as I had one or two people as my support system.
You was good. Okay. So what does the average day for you look like?
There's no such thing.
That's
the thing. There's no such thing as the average day. Like today is an off day.
Right.
I'm still in, like I say, event hangover mode, so just trying to recover. But I have a wedding on Sunday. We have rehearsal on Thursday night. So most of the time I try to keep myself disciplined. I get up, I'm in the office at 7 a.m.
7?
Yep, 7 a.m. But you have to know how you work best. For me, I'm a night owl, so either I'm going to get everything done late at night, or I'm going to be really, really motivated in the morning. By the time 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock roll around.
In the morning?
Yeah. By the time 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock roll around in the morning, I'm like done. I have to motivate myself to do all that paperwork and admin type of stuff. But if I get up early in the morning around 7, it'll get done. So usually I'll try to take care of that. Mondays are usually your admin days. Doesn't always work that way because when you're working with corporate clients, they don't have that type of schedule. Right. So they like to schedule appointments on Mondays.
Okay. So would you say it's key to kind of know, not to cut you off, is it key to know like when you are most creative, especially if you're in a creative industry?
Yeah.
And then kind of
work around that.
Right.
You have to.
So like, I guess for you would be like you can be more creative at night. So the times when like the middle of the day when you're not as creative, you can knock out most of your your admin.
I'll schedule the appointments.
Oh, okay.
So and like I said, the admin stuff, I'll try to do that in the morning as well. Just try to knock it out. The good thing now is that I have interns and assistants that can take it because I hate that. And that's another thing you have to realize what your strengths are, what's the things you really like, because for me, I have to force myself to do the things I don't like or it's going to get pushed to the side.
Right.
But I'm also a micromanager and I don't like delegating because I want to make sure it's done a certain way.
Hold on.
So it's crazy.
Hold on. All right. You're a micromanager, but you don't like delegating.
I don't like delegating because I'm afraid that it's not going to be done the right way.
So you're right to just do everything yourself?
Yeah, and that's how you end up messing up.
Okay.
So it took me a while to get that, and now I've gotten to the point whereas I know what things to delegate and what things I'm going to keep close to the chest because I just don't want it to mess up. But
Okay. So like, what is like one of the misconceptions about what you do?
That anybody can do it. Everybody think that, okay, prime example, you have so many people to say that, oh, I did my own wedding, so now I'm an event planner. No, you're not. You just did your own wedding. I mean, I did my own wedding when I got married, but I was nowhere near a planner.
Right.
I couldn't even tell you what to do, and I would never show people pictures of my wedding at all, other than the outside pictures, not the design, because I would be so embarrassed.
Really?
Plastic tablecloths.
Plastic tablecloths? Is that a thing?
The ones you get from Party City and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The plastic color tablecloths. And
that sounds kind of bad right there.
Yeah, so no.
I think with anything that's creative, people feel like anybody can do it. Because
same thing with PR,
right.
photography.
Exactly.
Videography.
Because I know when I was shooting like weddings, like I kind of like cooled off a little bit on that, but when I was like really trying to like make my name in that, I felt like people were like, you know what, that price is a little too much. You know, my uncle, he has an iPad, he could just shoot it up that. And I'm like, are we really talking about the same thing? Like, that's crazy to me, but a lot of people do that. Like, I've worked with a couple clients who I've done like their whole website, their photos, videos, and all that. But then they're like, well, I just picked up a camera, so it shouldn't really be that hard for me to just get some photos. But the photos you do are trash.
Prime example, I had this couple. They were spending buku money on their wedding. Their wedding was like $75,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be really nice.
Right.
You're doing certain things. For me, photography and videography is the most important thing because that helps my brand.
Right. You can use that to sell to get other clients.
Those pictures are going on my website, going on my social media and blog. And I told him, I was like, these are photographers are really good.
Mm-hmm.
They can work within your budget. And she was like, oh no, my dad's best friend is going to do the photography for us. And I tried to talk them out of it. And I was like, well, have you seen his work? Oh no, I've seen some pictures he took at a family cookout. A cookout is not the same as a wedding. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to meet with some of these photographers? And they were like, no. And when I tell you, those photos that came back were garbage. And she contacted me. She was like, I'm so upset. I wish I would have listened to you. I mean, absolute garbage. Like, my iPhone pictures came out better with me editing them.
That's crazy.
Garbage.
But a lot of people are like that, though.
Everybody feels that, I do something once or I can do this. And not trying to discourage people because that's how a lot of people get started. I mean, even myself. But my thing is, if you know that this is, an industry you want to get in, and learn your craft.
Right.
You can't take shortcuts. It's not going to happen overnight.
Not at all.
People didn't know me overnight. It took years, like at least a good 7 years before I really got paid what I thought I should have been getting paid.
Right. Yeah, like same way with me. Like I feel like I've been like grinding for at least like 5-6 years, and now I'm just now feeling like people are like knowing who I am
people
and knowing what I do.
us now.
Right.
People are hiring me. I'm not gonna lie.
I was doing a lot of free work.
I was doing free work, and then I was creating. I had to create my own events because people. I mean, like, who are you? We ain't never heard of you.
Right.
You don't have a portfolio. What am I showing them?
Right.
I can't talk about when I worked for Def Jam or when I, helped out with this event with this planner because it's not my work.
Yeah.
So my thing was, how am I going to get my name out there? So I started creating stuff. So I would do small business expos. So I would do a spring one and a fall. And I would get other business owners in the area that was trying to, get on. I'm like, we're going to help each other. We're charging like $5 for tickets. And you tell your friends to come, I'm going to tell my friends to come, and now you're going to be exposed. My friends are going to be exposed to your service, and I would just set up a table and decorate it so they could see what, my designs look like. And we did that for a couple of years, and I was able to start building my portfolio, having pictures of events. And then from that, some of their friends would come out, and then that's how I started building my clientele.
Okay.
From there.
All right. So you kind of actually touched on something that I wanted to talk about next is what is some key pieces of advice that you would give other event producers wanting to get in the industry or starting out?
Make sure, number one, you stay educated.
Okay. And what does that look like?
Get a mentor.
Okay.
And I always say get 2 mentors. I don't care what industry you're in, you need a business mentor, someone that may not have anything to do with your industry at all, but they're good in business.
Okay.
And then make sure you get a mentor within your industry. And make sure they're holding you accountable. And your mentors are not going to be the same all the time because there may come a point where you outgrow your mentors. So make sure you're revisiting that as well. But I always have someone that I'm talking to on a weekly basis that's challenging me and telling me, okay, so what you trying to do next?
Right.
Because you look like you're getting a little bit too comfortable. I'm gonna need for you to put in a proposal for this event, even though I know it's well above my head. But just so that I can get the experience, and they can say no, you ain't ready.
Right.
But I can know what they're looking for, and now the next time I can know what I need to change. So I always say make sure.
Because if not, you probably wouldn't have done anything.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
I mean, so many of us are so worried about looking like we got it all together on social media and stuff, but we don't. I mean, you have to reach out to people, ask for help. I have a good network of people within the industry that I can honestly say without a doubt, if I need help and assistance, they're going to be there.
Right.
Likewise, if they have an event going on, they need some help, I'm gonna come work for them. I'm not Memorable Events by Apryl. I'm whatever this company is.
Right.
It's not about, I got my own business. So you got to make sure you always being humble and willing to help somebody, and you're always learning, because there's always somebody or something new that's coming up.
Gotcha.
And you don't know everything. But the main thing for me was definitely just staying educated, having the mentors, and then joining organizations, industry-related organizations, because just within those organizations, you're meeting people, you're networking, and they also have that educational component in it as well.
How beneficial, you talked about it before, but would you suggest for other people that starting out who have no portfolio to start their own events?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you have to create your own content. Even if you just get a backdrop. You can go on Amazon and buy a photo backdrop.
Right.
You can go to Walmart and get a table.
True.
Boom. And just start working on your own work, creating your own content, so people can see, hey, this is my capability, this is my work. I mean, I still to this day, if I don't have any events going on, I'm sitting at home practicing. I have to practice my craft because things are always changing.
Right.
I have an idea. So on the weekends, when most people chilling, I'm sitting at home in my living room, got my little table out, get my little linen, and I'm just creating certain things. And I take my phone out, take pictures, creating different tablescapes and stuff. So I'm always trying to practice and just see, okay, I wonder if this will work.
Okay.
So.
All right, cool. One thing that a lot of people that I know that follow you always talk about is like how beautiful like your Instagram looks. And I know you do a lot of photos because I hung out with you, so I know how that goes. But how important is it to have like a great Instagram as far as promoting yourself, and how can other event producers, coordinators use social media to kind of pump up their brand a little bit?
You see, you said the operative word, brand.
True.
People don't understand how important that is. And number one, especially in the creative industry, everything is about visual.
Right.
We are such a visual, society anyway. So first you have to know what your brand is. And that's the hardest part for so many people.
What is your brand?
I'm me. And that's the thing. I am my brand.
Right.
And that's what people have to understand. It's not a name you can say for you. People see you before they see your product or your service.
Very true.
So when I first started out, I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to emulate so many people that I saw online. I was like, oh, it has to look this way, and it has to have this type of filter on it. And then people meet me and they're like, okay, no, even my logo. I mean, I don't even like pink. I'm not a pink girl. I've always been the tom girl that hung around the boys all the time. Never wore a lot of dresses. I wasn't pretty. I don't even think I wore heels really until I got in college. That just wasn't me.
Right.
I wasn't, I'm not gonna say I was a tomboy like that. I did pageants and stuff like that growing up, but I'm more so the casual type. Everybody know I'm into hip hop, I'm laid back. I can be bougie, but I think I'm a big,
enjoy a good brunch.
I love food. Yeah. I'm a mixture of that, so that's one of the things that my mentor told me. Just be you. Show people buy you.
Right.
People they want something that's authentic. So with your brand and with your social media, it has to show the same thing. If you have a product, especially with events, 70% of that should be your events. Then the other 30% has to be personal, because people still have to relate to you as a person. You don't just look and see pictures all the time of tables and flowers and stuff.
That gets over real quick.
That gets overwhelming. So they want to see that you're a person, that you actually have a brain, and you have to dialogue with them. They want to know that they can actually relate to you.
Right.
And then some of it would just be, just different quotes or saying and whatever, but it's just having that mixture and making sure that you're consistent with it. Because I can't stand when I go on someone's page, like it's somebody's page I went on and they say that, they're this masterful event planner, and I don't see anything
about events.
All I see is pictures of you posing. That's it. So I'm like, what do you do?
But don't you got to sprinkle in, not to kind of...
No, you do sprinkle in,
but not all the way.
If I go on your page and 90% and you say that you're this masterful event planner that's selling a book and offering classes, I'm gonna need to see what your portfolio is on your page. I don't need to see you just always posing in pictures.
Right.
I know what your face look like. I mean, it's chill, but no.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna buy your book?
Right.
What are you showing me? And then when I go on your website, I see stock photos. Where's your work?
True.
So
That's very true.
Definitely have to make sure that you're showing people what you're actually doing, especially like behind the scenes stuff. So like I try to make sure with the stories, Insta stories, I'm showing more of the behind the scenes stuff, so people can say, yeah, this is a picture right here, but if you go into my stories,
you can see how that picture came about.
You're gonna see how it came to life. You're gonna see me actually starting from the room just being completely empty. I'm coming in and the tables and chairs aren't even out yet.
Yeah.
And then that progression, so you'll know that, okay, there is some actual work that's going behind this.
Okay. So you would suggest for people starting out to not necessarily focus on your Instagram, but make sure you have like a good presence with it.
Take pictures of everything.
Of everything.
You know I do.
Yeah, I already know.
Even when I have a photographer, I take pictures, my own pictures.
Right.
Because they don't always get
the right angles.
Those right angles.
The light.
Shots.
Yeah.
They're not always focused on the same thing. For us, we're about the details. Because the clients hire you based upon the details.
Right.
Yeah, they love seeing the pictures of the clients, but it's about the details.
Okay. All right, just got a couple more questions. What do you love most about what you do?
The variety. It's not the same thing every day. The client is not always, like I said, I get bored easily. I get bored with routine. So
your weddings aren't always the same?
Weddings can become cookie cutter, but most of my clients, thank goodness, are not cookie cutter clients.
Okay.
They like to always add in a different, element that's going to make it more memorable for them. So, and I let them know that up front, when they sit down with me, and that's how they can tell whether or not I'm a good mix. I let them know that, hey, if you're looking for that planner that's going to be that cookie cutter planner that's doing everything everybody else does, I may not be the one for you, because I don't do that very well.
You've actually put together some wonderful weddings with a lot of open bar situations that I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've enjoyed those immensely. So, all right. So, most people talk about the highs of different careers, but most people don't really go deep into like the lows of starting out as a event producer or what have you. So, what have been some of the lows that you've kind of come across in this industry?
Not having clients. You're not getting any phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
No one's coming to your website. And you always worry, like, when is that next dollar going to come through? Because again, it's about a business. It's a business,
right? And
you have to make money to maintain a business.
True.
So that's definitely a low. I don't know what else. I don't know what else.
That's the main thing that kind of
just running a business in general. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. People think that when you say you're a business owner that you have all this money.
You instantly become a millionaire.
Right, and they don't understand how much goes out to run a business.
Or
Taxes,
how much,
insurance.
Or how much you have to actually work.
Hello? It takes time.
Yeah.
And then having help, because as your business grows, and that's another thing, as your business grows, you learn that you can't do it all by yourself.
Right.
And finding someone that's going to help you and work with you, that's going to see your vision and work as hard for you as they would for themselves.
True.
That's the hardest thing. So I would consider that a low as well, because I've gone through so many assistants, so many even interns,
mm-hmm.
because they just don't get it. They don't understand that it is a lot of work and that you're just not going to get paid to do nothing. So.
True. Okay. I think this is probably the perfect time to kind of hop into these rapid fire random questions I have. So I think this is gonna be pretty good, actually.
All right.
When are you the happiest?
Actually, when I'm alone at home, not having to do anything. Like, I was raised an only child.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest as far as my dad's kids, but when I don't have to answer the phone, don't have to answer email, and I can just sit at home and chill, do nothing, I'm happy.
Okay. Alright. If you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
I probably would have completed law school.
And become a lawyer?
Contract law.
You must really want to do contract law.
Love contract law.
Alright. Most people say creating a vision or building a business is like birthing a child. Mm-hmm. So what is the one thing about business that is the most orgasmic, if that makes sense?
For me, just seeing that end result.
The end result?
And the client's reactions.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if they're not happy, you might think you've done an excellent job and it was good. I'm one of those people that don't really see it that way. I'm always harder on myself because I'm looking at what could have been done better, or what went wrong, and they may not even know or seen it. But for me, it's when I get that feedback from them, and I'm very on point about making sure that you tell me everything, the positive and the negative. I want to continue to grow. So when they're happy and when they say that, hey, I got this, you got my vision right, I'm happy. That for me is like, okay, job done.
Okay, all right. What is the one thing you waste the most time on?
Business-wise or in general?
In general.
Overthinking.
You overthink a lot?
Both, yeah. I do that for both.
I overthink a lot as well.
Overthinking.
Instead of just doing it.
And I go back and forth. It just depends upon what it is. Sometimes, maybe that's a Gemini in me. Sometimes I'm just like, F it. I'm just going to do it.
Right.
And other times I'll sit there and just keep going back and forth.
And then nothing happens for weeks.
And nothing happens. And usually I do that when it's something that I know I need to do, but I'm scared to do it. And that's what it's always out of fear, because I'm scared. I'm like, I don't want to put myself out there, and I look crazy, and I fail. But that's the only way you're gonna know. You're gonna grow.
Okay. All right. If the zombie apocalypse happened right now, what would be your weapon of choice?
Don't know.
So you gotta pick a weapon.
I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know. Can I pass on that one?
Yeah, you can pass on that one. All right. If you were a stripper, what would your name be?
Sasha.
Sasha?
Yeah.
Why Sasha?
Because every female, and I don't care who you are, always have an alter ego name.
And most of them name was Sasha?
I used to do stripper pole classes, so that was my stripper name at my stripper pole classes.
Okay.
Sasha.
All right. Last one is who or what inspires you the most?
I would say my abuela.
Okay.
She's 93 years old to this day, still driving around, and she's just always positive, no matter what. That's my motivation. We talk at least once a week, and she just makes sure I keep going, no matter what. She can tell when something's a little off with me. I don't even have to tell her, and I don't even have to be around her all the time, but she's just always giving me words of encouragement and always pushing me. And outside of her, I say my kids. My kids are like my biggest supporters. They make sure that I'm good, and they remind me that you sacrifice a lot. Whatever we can do to help you, we see you. So. Okay.
All right. Cool. Well, let people know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
All right. Well, I'm based in Norfolk, but I do events, globally. But I'm in the Wells Fargo building, downtown Norfolk, at 440 Monticello, Suite 1860. Website is www.makememorable.com, and my social media handles are all memorable events.
Alright, so hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure you like it. The only way this channel is going to grow if you like it, subscribe, tell people, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your mama, tell your grandparents, tell everybody you can. So please do that. Make sure you follow Apryl at Memorable Events. Make sure you follow me at Shad Harris. Make sure you hit that subscribe button once again, because we need those subscribers. And hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully by next time we do this video, I'll have another title for this that kind of suits it a little bit better than Process Conversations. So yeah, I'm gonna come up with something, or you can come up with something. So once again, leave me a comment about what you think the name of this video series should be, and then I'll pick something. So that's pretty much it. So I'm out.